Formula One drivers have competed in the sport since its establishment, but only a few can live in our hearts forever. If you are a true fan of the sport, you may surely have heard the name of Ayrton Senna, who dominated the sport in the last millennium. His championship count was only 3. However, he is widely regarded as one of the greatest to ever compete in the championship. Unfortunately, Senna was not able to compete for more championships as he lost his life while racing. Through this video, we are going to discuss about this all-time great driver in the sport. But before we proceed, hit the subscribe button and smash the bell icon for more exciting updates. Ayrton Senna was born in 1960 in Sao Paulo, Brazil, as the middle child of a wealthy family in the country. But small Senna had a big issue related to the motor coordination of the body by the age of 3, and he had no ability to even climb a staircase without the support of another person. But he overcame all those challenges thanks to the treatments given to him, and showed early signs of a good athlete with growth. He was nicknamed as Bearku by his parents, and a young Bearku learned to drive a Jeep around their farm at the age of 7 and learned how to change the gears without using the clutch. With his interest in driving, his father gave him a kart at the age of 13, which was powered by a 1 HP lawnmower engine. He used that kart to compete in his first karting competition and was able to win the pole position in his debut race, beating some experienced and more older rival drivers. He led the race for a longer time, but had to retire due to a collision with a rival driver. However, his father identified the talent that his son possessed and supported him to develop as a racing driver, as young Senna showed less interest in academic activities. He was able to become the winner of the 1977 South American Karting Championship and got a chance to compete in the World Karting Championship the following year. He stayed in that category till 1980, becoming runner-up in the 1979 and 1980 seasons. Then he moved to England with the aim of finding success as a Formula driver and joined the Van Diemen team. He was able to win the RAC and Townsend Torrenson Formula Ford 1600 championships. Even though his parents supported his racing career in the early days, they were not happy about the fact that he showed less interest in the family business. After moving to England, family members started to force him to return to Brazil to take responsibility of the bloodline businesses. He retired from the Formula Ford series and returned back to his motherland. However, he was already on the radar of many racing teams, and Senna was offered a contract worth £10,000 to drive for a Formula Ford 2000 team. This was sufficient enough to change his mindset and come out of retirement to accept the offer. He preferred to use his mother's maiden name of Senna instead of the surname De Silva, as the latter was more common in Brazil. Then, Ayrton Senna became a dominant brand in Formula Junior levels, creating fear among rival drivers. He won both the 1982 British and European Formula 2000 championships in his first attempt, and with this success, sponsors like Banerjee and Paul came in support of him. Then, he earned a promotion to the West Surrey racing team to drive in the Formula 3 championship. He dominated the first half of the season until Martin Brundle started to dominate in the next half. The title battle was carried on till the final lap of the season by both drivers. However, Senna beat Brundle after a very tight battle throughout the final race. Then the Brazilian was able to increase his championship count by winning the inaugural Macau F3 championship with Theodore's racing team. His performances throughout the 1982 season were sufficient enough to catch the attention of many Formula One teams, and participated as a test driver for many F1 teams like Williams, McLaren, Brabham and Toleman. Team owners like Peter Warr of Lotus, Ron Dennis of McLaren and Bernie Eccleston of Brabham made offers to Senna as their test driver for the 1984 season. During his test driving sessions for Williams, Senna was faster than the entire grid, including the reigning world champion Keke Rosberg, opening big questions about the wastage of this young talent. Unfortunately, there were no vacancies within McLaren or Williams to offer him a permanent driving role for the 1984 season. He had only the option of joining with Toleman. He debuted in Formula One at his home Grand Prix in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. He qualified only as 17th in the grid and was unable to complete the race with the failure of the turbo power unit of his Hart 415T Challenger. He recorded his first career point by finishing the South African Grand Prix as 6th on the list. The Brazilian recorded a few more victories in Great Britain and Portugal. However, the 1984 Toleman Challenger was not a competitive one for Senna to unleash his full potential. So, he completed the 1984 season in 9th of the drivers' standings with just 13 points. Even though he accepted the offer of Toleman for 1983, the Lotus team was in close contact with Senna. Toleman suspended him for the Italian Grand Prix as he held secret discussions with Lotus regarding the 1985 contract. But he indeed made his successful move to Lotus for the 1985 season, and the Renault-powered Lotus 97T Challenger was powerful enough to fight at the top. He showed his dominance since testing with the new team, but as the season wrapped up, it began to mess up as there were huge reliability issues with the Lotus Challenger. He won his first pole position at the Portuguese Grand Prix and was able to convert it into his first F1 victory. Senna had to retire in a number of races with reliability issues, even after leading them for a long period of time. He finished the season as 4th in the standings after a tight battle with his teammate De Angelis. The set of Formula One Challengers used in the 1986 season were considered as the most powerful F1 cars ever used in the sport. However, the reliability problems of the Lotus Challenger continued, and Senna was able to finish the season as 4th in the standings again, with just 55 points. Then, for the next season, Lotus used Honda engines instead of Renault as they continued to suffer those reliability issues. That deal earned success since the beginning, and Senna was able to record back-to-back victories at Monaco and Detroit. He finished the season in 3rd position with 57 points, including 9 podiums. Senna made a strong relationship with Lotus team's engine supplier Honda, and this helped him to make the move to McLaren for the 1988 season. This is considered as the turning point of the young Brazilian's F1 career. McLaren had no clear number 1 in that season, as they signed both Senna and Alain Prost in the same season. This was the starting point of the Senna-Prost rivalry, which later became one of the most famous rivalries in F1. They battled against each other throughout the season with some close encounters between the two, but Senna was able to win 8 races, beating the previous record of 7 wins for most victories in one season, held jointly by both Jim Clark and Prost. Other than that, he was able to set a record-breaking 13 poles in one season, and in that way, Senna was able to clinch his first driver's title with the help of the powerful McLaren machinery. The Prost-Senna rivalry continued in the next season in a much intensified way, and numerous on-track battles were seen throughout the season. Ron Dennis also revealed information regarding the considerable differences between the Honda power units of the two McLarens. This further heats up the battle between the two drivers, but unfortunate retirements of Senna due to reliability issues and collisions swung the battle in favor of Prost. Then they collided again at the title decider race in Suzuka, Japan, and Senna was in an essential requirement for one more victory to clinch the title. But this collision ended the race for both, handing over the championship to Prost. Senna began the 1990 season with a new teammate, Gerhard Berger, as Prost joined with Ferrari. Senna easily took a commanding lead in the championship with 6 wins, 2 second places, and 3 wins. But his rivalry with Prost continued despite them being on 2 different teams. Repeating the collision that happened last year at Suzuka, Prost and Senna collided again, but this time, Senna took Prost out of the track. Senna easily became the 1990 World Champion without a considerable threat. He stormed his way to a 3rd world title in 1991 with 7 victories. His rival, Alain Prost, experienced a significant decline of the performance of his Ferrari and was not in a position to challenge Ayrton Senna. The Brazilian became the youngest 3-time world champion with that 1991 title. However, McLaren's dominancy was ended in 1992 as Williams appeared to be the most powerful package in the new season. Honda engines became less reliable and less powerful in that season, and Senna had to give up on his championship hopes. At the end of the 1992 season, the chance was open for Senna to make a shift. McLaren owner Ron Dennis tried his best to secure a supply of Williams engines, which proved to be successful in the previous season with the Williams team. But it failed, and Senna decided to move in to the Williams F1 team. But Ron Dennis made him a request to stay with McLaren on a race basis contract. McLaren shifted to a Ford power unit to provide a powerful car to Senna. In the midway of the season, the Brazilian was leading the standings in an unexpected way. But with a series of retirements, the championship swung again towards the favour of Prost. Prost retired after winning his 4th title, and Senna joined Williams as his replacement. However, he was not able to achieve success with Williams as Senna expected. It is considered as the worst start that he had for any of the F1 seasons. Everything was against Senna, and unfortunately, death found him. He faced a fatal accident at the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix when his car left the circuit at Tamburello Corner on lap 7. The car directly crashed into the concrete retaining wall at a speed of 307 kilometers an hour. He was immediately extracted from the car and given immediate medical treatment. He had a weak heartbeat at the moment and lost around 4.5 liters of blood, with damage to the temporal artery. Even though he was hospitalized, nothing could save him from his destiny. In that way, Formula One lost one of the greatest drivers in the history of the sport at a very young age. His championship and victory count never depicts the talent that he possessed, and Senna is regarded as the greatest driver by the majority of people who eyewitnessed his driving in the past. His death pushed the FIA to think twice about the safety of Formula One drivers, and indirectly, he helped save the lives of many drivers in recent history. What do you think about Ayrton Senna's brief F1 career? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel to get more exciting Formula One news. See you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.